We begin this morning with David Pogue and a milestone birthday for a company that is among the most profitable, influential, and scrutinized in the world.
At this moment, 2.5 billion people own Apple products, a population bigger than China's.
I had to ride my bike through cherry orchards just to get to elementary school. There was nobody here.
But it all started on a sidewalk near Cupertino, California. Is it accurate to say that the story of Apple kind of began on this spot?
Well, it kind of started when I was born.
In 1971, engineering prodigy Steve Wozniak met a charismatic, rebellious high schooler named Steve Jobs.
We met right here, and who was to know there was going to be a company in the future?
In 1975, few people had ever even seen a computer, but Woz built one. It was little more than a circuit board, and Jobs proposed selling it.
Steve Jobs wanted a company, and he did it, and I was his resource.
They sold 150 of Woz's first computer.
So I am proud to introduce to you.
They sold 6 million of his second.
The revolutionary Apple II.
It was so far above any of the other computers coming out. We didn't foresee the future the way it turned out, but we said, for today, we're taking a step forward ahead of others.
Apple took a very big step forward in 1984.
Now I'd like to show you Macintosh in person.
The Macintosh was Jobs' passion project, the first affordable computer with a mouse, menus, and friendly graphics. But darker times were ahead. After a power struggle with CEO John Sculley, Steve Jobs left Apple for 11 years. The company began sliding into irrelevance.
Yeah, it was bleak, to be honest. The company had very little cash, and we had lost our way.
After Jobs returned in 1997, he hired Tim Cook as his new head of operations.
I saw in Steve something I'd never seen in a CEO before. He is a once in 1,000 years kind of person.
The opportunity is so great.
Jobs and his team pulled off what's widely regarded as the greatest turnaround in business history.
You know, we basically completely restructured the company and set it on the path for where it is today.
John Rubinstein was Jobs' new head of hardware. What was it like working with him?
He could be absolutely brutal. He wanted to get the best out of the team, and he wanted us to do, the impossible sometimes. And, we would pull it off.
Jobs and chief designer Johnny Ive met every day to obsess over the details of their products' designs.
We're here, and I'd like to show you what this thing looks like. Come on in.
And a golden age began.
This is iMac. The whole thing is translucent. You can see into it. It's so cool.
The iMac became the best-selling computer in history. The iTunes Store was the first successful online music store, and it turned the music industry upside down.
What is iPod? iPod is an MP3 music player.
And the iPod was the first Apple product to sell in the hundreds of millions.
There were hundreds of songs in the iPod. So what were you going to do? Just like by hand, clicking 100 times? And instead, if you scroll the wheel.
Paola Antonelli is a curator of design at MoMA, New York's Museum of Modern Art.
There are many, many Apple products in the MoMA collection, dozens of them. Definitely, there's a pleasure. There's really a moment of wonder. And design is for all of us. And Apple's success is a testament to that.
And then, in 2007, Steve Jobs announced 3 new products.
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it?
They got it. It was 3 devices in one, the iPhone.
I just take my finger and I scroll.
Nobody had ever before touched their data. The iPhone changed everything. It became our camera, our TV, our newspaper, our game console. It gave rise to Uber, Airbnb, DoorDash, Venmo, and Tinder, and it fueled the rise of social media, raising concerns about screen time, mental health, and isolation.
It's so much more intimate than a laptop.
In 2010, the iPad was another massive hit,
And it's so much more capable than a
but
smartphone
Steve
with a
Jobs
gorgeous
was
large
dying.
display.
As he succumbed to pancreatic cancer, Jobs asked Cook to succeed him as CEO.
He called me over to his house, and his advice to me was never ask what I would do, just do the right thing. And I'll never forget that.
For Cook, the right thing was a new emphasis on sustainability and inclusiveness, and a deep dive into services like Apple Pay, Apple TV, and Apple Music, which now generate over $100 billion a year. Since Cook took over, Apple has roughly tripled in size, and its stock is up 1,600%.
You guys changed the world multiple times with the work you were doing.
It wasn't what we set out to do. We set out to save the company. But it's what the side benefit of that was we changed the world.
But challenges lie ahead. A reliance on China for its manufacturing, the threat of presidential tariffs, and the perception that Apple is lagging in artificial intelligence.
It was all about collaboration. And
But Cook believes that Apple's traditional values will see it through.
Are there any values and principles in place today that date all the way back to the two Steves?
Ideas about building something insanely great was there in the early days, that you say no to 1,000 things, to say yes to the one that's truly important, and that when you do something, you should do it at an excellence level that isn't where good isn't good enough.
Steve Wozniak would agree.
Apple's reputation definitely is, sprung from us and the culture. It's hard to be 100% perfect, but I still admire Apple the most of all the tech companies.
If you had to say it in brief, what is Apple's effect on the world been?
It's the sum of what everyone has done with all of the products that we've made. The artists, it's the musicians, it's the everyday people who have done remarkable things to change the world. That's the reason we look forward to the next 50 and the next 100.